The day started with the sweet scent of hickory and mesquite drifting over Oakwood Lane. My little BBQ shack, Big Red's smokehouse, was in full swing, the patio buzzing with neighbors. The sauce simmered, ribs glistened, and the laughter of my customers mingled with the low hum of country tunes from the jukebox. Then the sirens cut through everything. 2 squad cars rolled up, lights flashing. Conversations died mid-sentence. Officer Martinez stepped out first, adjusting his belt with that cautious look cops get when they know something's about to be awkward. "Mr. Reynolds," he said, his voice even but uneasy, "we've received a complaint from your HOA. They say you're operating an unlicensed restaurant and violating community guidelines." I blinked. "This is my own property. I've got all the permits." "What guidelines?" Martinez glanced back at his partner, then at the thick folder he carried. "They also claim you're creating public nuisance conditions." Behind him, I spotted her. Karen Whitmore, HOA president, clipboard in hand, wearing that smug half-smile that could curdle milk. She didn't even try to hide the fact she'd called them. "This is a quiet community," Karen announced, stepping closer. "Not some—" She waved her hand toward the smokers and tables. "Backyard carnival." I kept my voice calm. "Karen, this isn't a carnival. It's my business. My customers are neighbors who like my food." But Karen wasn't here for a discussion. She handed Martinez a stack of HOA violation notices, each one bolder than the last. Martinez sighed, looking like he'd rather be anywhere else. "I'm going to have to ask you to close for the day while we review this," he said. The customers shuffled out, disappointed. I locked eyes with Karen. She leaned in just enough for me to hear her whisper, "You can fight me if you want, but I never lose." Something in that tone told me this wasn't about noise or rules. This was personal, and I had no idea why. That night, I sat in my kitchen, surrounded by crumpled papers, every permit, every inspection, every receipt proving my restaurant was legal. Yet the HOA violations kept coming, each one more aggressive, each one threatening massive daily fines. And then the letter arrived. No HOA header, no signature, just one typed line. "Close your doors or you'll regret it." I stared at it, the words burning into me. Karen had declared war. She just didn't know I was ready to fight back. The unsigned letter sat on my desk for a week, but it never left my mind. Every time I lit the smoker, I'd see those words, "You'll regret it." I decided regret was going to be hers, not mine. First step was gathering evidence. I set up cameras around the property, not just for security, but to catch anything suspicious. Within days, they paid off. The footage showed Karen and 2 HOA board members walking my property at night, shining flashlights into my smokers, jotting down notes. One of them even tried to tug on the padlock of my back gate. That was the proof I needed. I hired an attorney, Linda Cho, sharp as a tack and twice as fast. She pored over every HOA bylaw and grinned. "They've overstepped, big time. They have no authority over a legally permitted business, and trespassing. That's the cherry on top." We filed a civil suit for harassment, defamation, and interference with business. The moment Karen was served, she stormed into my restaurant, waving the papers like they were on fire. "You're going to regret this," she hissed. I leaned on the counter, calm. "You've been saying that for weeks." "I'm still waiting." The case drew attention fast. Neighbors who'd been quiet suddenly stepped forward with their own stories. Random fines, intimidation letters, even property damage they suspected came from the HOA leadership. It wasn't just me they were targeting. By the time we hit the courtroom, Karen's confident smirk was gone. Linda laid out the footage, the letters, and the testimony from half the street. The judge's eyebrows rose higher with each piece of evidence. When it was Karen's turn, her excuses crumbled. "It was about preserving the neighborhood's character," she said. But the judge cut her off. "You don't preserve a community by harassing its members," he said flatly. The ruling was swift. The HOA owed me damages for lost revenue, legal fees, and emotional distress, a figure big enough to make Karen pale. The board was ordered to cease all interference with my business, and in a rare move, the judge recommended a vote to dissolve the HOA entirely. Weeks later, Oakwood Lane voted. The HOA was gone. The day after, my patio was packed. Music played, ribs smoked, and laughter filled the air without fear of sirens. Karen moved out quietly, her house sitting empty for months. As I stood at the grill, flipping brisket, a neighbor clapped me on the shoulder. "You didn't just win for you," he said. "You won for all of us." I looked around at the smiling faces and knew he was right. The smoke from the pit curled into the evening sky, the only kind of smoke Oakwood Lane would ever see again. Enjoyed seeing how I took down the HOA and saved my BBQ restaurant? Hit that subscribe button for more real-life neighborhood showdowns and small business victories. Give this video a like if you believe in standing up for what's right, and drop a comment. What's the wildest HOA story you've ever heard?